Fellas, in this video, I want to share 6 undeniable signs of masculine energy. The first undeniable sign of masculine energy is integrity. You carry yourself with some dignity. You are not out here trying to be slimy, grimy, underhanded. You have self-respect. That's what integrity is. It's okay to take the high road. You don't always have to prove yourself. You don't always have to be so defensive and stuff like that. It's really about carrying yourself with self-respect. When I was a younger man, when I was in my teenage years, I didn't carry myself with integrity all the time. You know, I used to do foul shit. I've gotten in trouble. I did not carry myself with a high level of integrity. And I feel like most young men don't. That's why it's important that the sooner you understand this, the better off you'll be. Because like I said, this is going to really level you up as a man. Now, the second undeniable sign of masculine energy is emotional control or emotional intelligence. It's very key to be able to control your emotions. That don't mean to not have emotions. That doesn't mean to stuff it down. That doesn't mean to suppress. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about learning how to be aware of your emotional state, learning how to not let your emotions get the best of you. Because when we let our emotions get the best of us, we don't always act in ways that we really need to be acting. We act irrationally, we act impulsively, we make really bad decisions that can get us in trouble. All right. And I've been down this road myself. OK, so believe me when I tell you, emotional control is very important. Learn how to work with your anger. Say you have a temper, say your girl be pissing you off or your kids get on your nerves and you find yourself overreacting to things. You're almost acting in a way that you're acting in a way that is not relative to the event that's going on. Something simple might have happened and you're like blowing it out of proportion. You see what I'm saying? Overreactions. You want to get a handle on that. So you really want to learn how to improve your emotional intelligence. And I got a whole playlist on that. I'll be sure to leave a link for you so you can check that out and you can gain a better understanding of what that is and how to improve that. Number 3, focus. You are not easily distracted. And when you are distracted, you have a high level of awareness to get yourself back on track. I've learned too, like when I say focus, even myself, sometimes I'll lose focus, but I know when I've lost that focus. I know when I need to get myself back on track, to get myself back on my path. And sometimes it's not easy to do if you don't have like a support system around you, if you don't have certain homies that can kind of help you maintain a level of accountability, that can kind of check you when you are getting out of pocket. It's nice to have that, but sometimes you may not have the luxury to have that. And it's good to be able to kind of learn how to do it on your own too. The fourth undeniable sign of masculine energy is assertiveness, not aggressiveness. I used to mess this up myself too. A lot of us used to think masculine energy meant, being loud, being violent, being hella aggressive. That's not what masculine energy is. Masculine energy is being assertive when you need to be. Masculine energy is being able to set a boundary for yourself when somebody is kind of crossing a line that you don't want them to cross. They're stepping too deep into your space. And I mean, maybe even physical space or metaphorical space. It's good to learn how to assert yourself when you need to. And sometimes you don't even have to raise your voice to do it. And I had to learn this. I was not necessarily good at this. And at times I have to still check myself about this. And not to get too much on a tangent, but I think this plays into like how you were raised and where you were raised. I'm from Jersey originally. Coming from Jersey, New York, them kind of northern states, you have a kind of edge about you. There's a kind of roughness that comes with you, especially if you're black. You kind of grow up in a culture where we are taught to be aggressive, especially if you listen to rap music, especially if you watch certain movies. We're taught to be aggressive. So it's really important to learn how to tweak that. It's important to learn how to be more assertive because it just gets you further in life. So you really want to be able to identify the differences between assertiveness and aggressiveness. The fifth sign of masculine energy is confidence, particularly self-confidence. All right. That confidence that you have that comes from, doing hard shit in life. That confidence that you have from hitting the gym. That confidence that comes from learning how to do things, like competence. So like, for example, say when you start working out, when you work out, you may not necessarily know how to lift weights properly. You may not know the proper form. You may not know how to engage your core when you're holding heavy weight so that you don't mess your back up. You may not know how to do these types of things, but the more that you do it, the more reps that you get in, you become more competent, and competence equals confidence. So it's important to just build inner confidence, and you do that by doing hard things in life, getting to the other side of things. And by other side of things, I mean getting to the other side of challenges, the other side of obstacles in your life. I used to like not really be good at this either. Not necessarily like when it comes to working out or anything like that, but I used to kind of, especially in my relationships, I remember I would deal with challenges in my relationships and I didn't know how to like get past them. And it's really because I never got the reps in earlier in my life in how to do that. I didn't have that many like healthy relationships growing. I didn't even have that many relationships, honestly. But so as I'm older now and I'm, in the relationship dynamics and stuff like that, I'm able to look back on it and be like, damn, I didn't have enough practice. I didn't have enough practice in how to overcome relationship challenges. And that was one thing that I struggled with. And I talk about that in a lot of my videos too, because I know a lot of dudes deal with that. Whether it's our temper, our anger, how to speak to our partners when we do get pissed off, how to maintain a certain level of tact. You want to be tactful when you speak. That goes back to that assertiveness. You don't have to necessarily be aggressive. You want to learn how to use your words and finesse your words in a way without having to be an asshole about it. Getting back to how that plays into being confident is just learning how to do things in healthier ways. And once you learn how to do this, you empower yourself. You become more confident because you're educating yourself on certain things. And that's what I mean by building competence. That's what I mean by learning how to do things. Educate yourself, gain more knowledge, and that will improve your self-confidence so that you can walk through life and you can be like, yeah, I know how to do that. I used to suck at it, but I know how to do that now because I've worked at it and I've learned how to get to the other side of things. If this list is providing you with any value so far, please hit that like button. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you know when I make more content just like this. For this last undeniable sign of masculine energy is that you are a leader or you are a coach, all right? And what I mean by this is that you are trustworthy. People look to you for your advice, for your wisdom, for the encouragement that you can provide them based off of your life experience. Maybe you've been through life and you've had ups and downs to the point where you can help somebody overcome the obstacles that they're going through, just like I'm trying to do in this YouTube video. I've been through some things in my life. I'm not an expert on all this stuff, but I've been through enough to where people can come to me and say, hey, what you think about this? You ever had this experience before? What would you do in this situation? People looking up to you is very powerful. All right. So that's something that's a skill that you really want to hone in on if you don't naturally have that. All right. So I just wanted to make this quick video. Leave me some comments below too, man. Let me know what y'all thought about this video. Let me know your thoughts, concerns. Let me know if you like this video, if you want me to make more videos like this. All right. But that's all I got in this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.